Hello.
Is this James?
Yes, it is.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Not bad.
I'm a 16-year-old atheist from Ontario, Canada.
Uh-huh.
And I just wanted to talk a little bit about the state of affairs in Canada in regards to religion, because there's actually been a bit of a upsurge, and I know the common stereotype is that we're more or less religious here in Canada, but in recent years, most denominations of Christianity have been on the decline, except for evangelical fundamentalist Christianity, which is on the rise in an alarming rate.
Mm-hmm.
Just for an example, in Alberta, which is basically the western provinces, there are Bible Belt. They've been trying to pass bills that allow parents to exclude their children from sex education and evolution in biology class, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to be taking kind of the worst ideas from here and grafting them there.
Yes, absolutely. Well, currently we have a conservative minority government. We have a weird political system, but anyway, that's how it's going. And I also wanted to share my recent endeavors. The first week of August, I'm going to be going to a summer camp that I've gone to every year of my life. I used to be a fundamentalist myself, and it's pretty similar, now that I think about it, to the Jesus camp from the movie.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So you're going to go in there and be the token atheist? Is that your goal, or
basically,
you're going to out yourself?
Bringing camera equipment and such to see if I could, I don't know, maybe get a little bit of a documentary out of the thing, see how my experience goes.
Huh. Well, that'd be cool. I think if you tell people you're an atheist, they're not going to trust you, and they're not going to give you free reign.
Yeah, that's the issue. Since I've actually gone there every single summer for my entire life. We own property on the camp. Oh yeah, I didn't mention that. Most of my family's fundamentalist, and I'm still in the closet.
Oh boy.
Oh, so
Yeah.
you're stealthing your way back into camp to get some documentary footage.
Well,
Yes.
that sounds like a good project if you can kind of keep it on the down low.
Yeah, if I was like extremely wealthy and you managed to get good footage, I'd actually buy some of that footage for the show, because I thought Jesus Camp was an exceptionally well done documentary, probably one of the best documentaries, if not the best documentary on religion I've seen ever, because it was, it honestly represented what was going on. It was not the most extreme of the religious organizations. I mean, it was just enough to shock some people about what was going on, but it certainly wasn't anywhere near the most extreme.
This camp is a little bit, I guess it's not as into politics, like we don't pray to cardboard cutouts of our prime minister. It's pretty crazy there, and
if he wasn't just a prime minister, I mean, if you guys actually had a real frickin' president, maybe they would.
Yeah, maybe. Well, they do have services for children as young as the kids who were in Jesus Camp, and I've seen the same sort of things there that are here, so it's going to be quite difficult because I have a fervently religious mother, basically is the mother's side of the family in this issue, and I'm basically having to assess my situation, and I realize I probably have to wait till I get to university, where I have a good 2-hour drive between us, to let her know that I'm an atheist, so I can just hang up the phone when I hear the screaming start.
Yeah, and I can let you know that 2-hour drives don't seem to make a difference for some people.
Yeah.
That may be the case.
Yeah.
I was actually thinking about calling in much earlier, but I didn't want to do the long distance charges, but I was going to ask about coming out to my fundamentalist parts of the family, but I know it's been asked a lot of times, and the question's kind of been done to death, and I think that in my case, I guess I'll just have to wait, with them being very, very fundamentalist.
Well, you're coming from a place that's kind of unusual. I don't think we've gotten very many calls from young people that are sort of don't feel kind of like a victim. right? Maybe you feel, it sounds like you feel kind of empowered to do something with your situation, which I think is a good thing.
I was just as fundamentalist as they were only about 2 years ago, and never considered critically examining my beliefs till I was about 14 or 15 years old. And at that time, I started watching YouTube videos about atheism because I wanted to be able to argue with the atheists and convert them to Christianity, and look at where that got.
Boy, that sounds familiar. Hey, I'll tell
That
you,
just warms my heart. I love to hear it.
I'll tell you this, James. Not only have we dealt with the question a lot, but it's also one that I've dealt with a lot in email. And I won't actually give you any actual advice for two reasons. One is that every situation is different, and you know your family far better than I do. And the other one being that you're a minor, and I'm always reluctant to get involved because under a lot of laws, you're pretty much property until you're 18.
Absolutely.
And so, I don't want to get myself in trouble, but I will say that just from talking to you in this short time, I'm not too worried about you. You know your family. You'll do what you think is right when you think it's right. And I wouldn't be overly concerned about it. The one bit of advice that I happily give everybody in that situation is that that if it's right for you to come out, and it may not be for everybody, and it may not be at all times, feel free to do it. There's no problem with being honest with who you are, and honest to other people about who you are. But if there is the reality, which is true for some people, maybe not for you, that coming out would seriously negatively affect your life, would affect, for example, your job or your job prospects or your family or your health, or in some cases,
that's the way it is right
life.
now, actually. Just because I live in my parents' house, I don't think I can really do this sort of thing until I'm living on my own.
Yeah.
But I certainly think that by that time I will be able to. And
well, you can always blame the university,
yeah. Well,
It's that
yes,
education.
Actually, my even more fundamentalist grandmother called me today and basically she had a conversation with me, telling me how concerned she was that there's an alarming rate here in Canada of children going to college and university, and like 90% of them after university stop going to church. And I said, oh, that's horrible.
And you said it was horrible because you're hoping it was 95, 96%?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So I guess that's it for me. I don't want to take up any more time. I'll call in maybe in a few weeks after I've gone to the camp, and let you guys know how it went, and if I got any interesting footage.
Or maybe you'll find Jesus.
Or maybe I'll find Jesus.
He's behind the couch the whole time.
Why you're all wrong.
Okay.
All right, thanks a lot.
Thanks very much.
I actually have a little Jesus.
Okay. All right. You found him. I have a little bit of advice to people who, not necessarily this caller, but to people who are dealing with coming out to their parents, and that would be emphasize the commonality that you have with your family, and this being an atheist may be the newest, most interesting thing in your life, but you still have a huge amount in common with your family, common values, and those sorts of things.
It's quite a sensitive situation, actually.
Yeah.
It's me and my father who are a bit in the closet, and he's...
Oh, your father too?
I'm afraid of him. Yeah, sorry. I'm afraid of him outing me because he cannot handle going to church every Sunday and coming home, and he basically just flies off the handle.
Safety in numbers.
You're
Good for you, man.
You're in the best possible position because you already know that there is somebody on your side, and it happens to be a parent. So
yeah, I'm just afraid he just goes nuts one day because he keeps telling me that he has a very, very strong, incontrollable urge to just stand up in the middle of the service and tell them how much of a load of BS it is and walk out. But he can't help it.
I want to meet
Yeah, well, I go to a Pentecostal church. I don't know if you guys know. We're the crazy ones.
Yeah, you speak in tongues and dance around and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And we've had recently, for example, pastors from Ethiopia come in talking about miracles such as little girls being resurrected from the dead and converting entire villages of Muslims to Christians. And people, one magical explanation was a family had nothing but a bowl of macaroni to eat for the rest of the week, and a Christian lady knocked on the door and sat down to eat with them. And the custom is that you share your food with whoever comes in the door. And God magically multiplied their macaroni so that they could all eat it and be full and still have some left over. And the congregation just ate it up, so to speak.
Oh boy!
Wow.
Oh boy!
So
It would be hard to sit still through that.
I don't remember macaroni and cheese being on the approved diet list in the Bible.
May not no cheese.
But,
No cheese.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely get back to us after you're done at camp. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot for calling in, Jake.
Thank you very much, guys.
Sure.
Thank you.